Welcome to the FI Investors Podcast, helping you achieve financial independence through real estate investing, one episode at a time. We talk about personal finance, mindset, and real estate investing. Whether you're a rookie or looking to scale your portfolio, we're here to provide you with the tactics and actionable steps to achieve your goals. Here are your hosts, Diego Corzo and Ward Mahoney.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the FI Investors. Today we have an amazing guest. His name is Andres Bustamante. I've had the privilege to know him since 2019, and today he's going to be sharing a little bit on his journey as a real estate investor, how he bought his dream condo in Puerto Rico, similar to how I did it. He did it this year. His condo is on the 12th floor overlooking the beach over there in Puerto Rico. It is amazing. He'll share the story on how he partnered up, how he was able to do it. He's also going to be sharing on his realtor journey, how he's been able to help over 150 families already throughout his realtor career, and also how he became the realtor of choice, the realtor for the Austin FC soccer team here in Austin, Texas. So all of that is what we're going to be sharing here on this episode, and I'm super excited because I've seen him grow throughout the years, and now as he grows his realtor career as well, he's been able to mentor other people to share his journey, help them house hack, help them invest, and now with Realty of America, helping other realtors also grow their realtor business. So this is gonna be an amazing episode that I know all of you are going to like. Now, before I bring on Andres, one thing that I want to share is that if any of you are interested in getting our calculators for short-term rental, mid-term rental, rehabs, long-term, as I mentioned earlier, and also co-living, make sure that you go to the website, thefiinvestors.com, so that you can check them out. They are on there for free 99. And you can also schedule a strategy call with either me and one of our team members here at the FI Investors. So if you're interested in learning more or just want to talk about what best strategy will work for you as we end 2024 and go into 2025, this is your chance. So go to thefiinvestors.com. So without further ado, let's bring Andres. Welcome to another FI Investor podcast. Andres, how are you doing today?
What's up, brother? I'm doing great, and you?
Doing well. Dude, welcome to the FI Investors. I know that, we've been friends since 2019, since you gave me that call. We'll talk about that, but your journey has been really, really impressive as a realtor, as an investor, now as a mentor to other agents, to other people. And I just want to share, I want the people to hear a little bit of your journey, how you've been successful as a realtor, as an investor, how you've been able to now have a dream condo in Puerto Rico, which is amazing. And we'll talk all about that. But let's get started. Tell us a little bit about you, how you got started, and where you are now.
Yes, I got started because I needed to pay for college. So I got my license at 19, did leasing, helped a lot of students get apartments. And then when I graduated, I was at crossroads, like, should I stick with real estate? That's not a 9 to 5. There's not really stability sometimes. And just followed my intuition, said, let's do real estate. Didn't really have any sales for the first 5-6 months until I cold called this man by the name of Diego Corzo. You were on the Bigger Pockets podcast, and I know you're super popular for a ton of time since that. And I called you, and you're like, you had like a little check for people. You're like, wait, I'm busy right now. Call me next week. And I know a lot of people didn't call you the next week afterwards. I did call you, and you're like, okay, all right. So then we met up at Kirby Lane, I think. This is 2019.
2019.
November 2019, we met up. I was about to sign with another agent's team. And it's weird, but intuition that day told me to wait. I didn't think about joining your team because I was like limiting mindset that I was like, oh, they're too good. That was what I wanted. Like I really wanted it, but I was too scared to ask. And I just said, let me wait. Thankfully, I waited and I told Diego, I was like, I'm gonna sign with this team. Just want to hear your thoughts because I looked up to you and you're like, wait, let me talk to Victor Nino, who is a great friend of mine now and business partner and mentor. And you guys spoke, and like a month or two later, I joined you guys in February 2020.
Yes, yes. And I remember that conversation because I remember when we got lunch, I was 29 at the time, and I believe you were 22 or 23.
Damn, that's true.
Yeah. So I remember telling you, I was like, dude, we'll figure out how I can help because you are like I was in your shoes. That was me when I was 23, wanting to buy my first house hack, starting to get into real estate as a realtor on the residential side. And then as you told me a little bit about your story and what you wanted to do, that's when I told Victor, I was like, hey, I know we were not thinking about creating an actual team yet, but we need to start like with Andres. Let's do this. And so the whole vision change of how Victor and I were gonna do our real estate business, and then we added you, and you joined us, and it's been crazy because now um, we'll talk a little bit about how you got started. But what does in the last 4 years since we've been working together, 4.5 actually now, how many homes have you sold? What's been that? What has been your experience as a realtor now? Fast forward 4.5 years.
It's been great. Like I said, the first months were hard. I feel like any starting agent is freaking hard, and I was about to quit. But I'm so happy I bet on myself. The last 4 years, I've helped about 140 plus families around there. I have two
Which is
closings this
awesome.
week, so for 142, 143, and that's about like 90 million in volume and reached about like 25 million people through social media. So it's been incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, and then buying my house hacks. I bought three investment properties in Austin, and then
Hmm.
the condo, I love it. Like Puerto Rico.
Yes, yes. So let's talk first. So you've done really well as a realtor, and we'll get to that part. But tell us first about your first property, that first house hack. Tell us a little bit about how you found it, how that spurred up, and also the process of getting that new build.
Yeah, so the first one's hilarious. I remember it so vividly because when I joined the team, we talked about goals, and it's so important to talk goals. And we were like, hey, Andres, you need to stop paying rent. You need to start building equity. Put your money where your mouth is. If you're telling people to buy, you should have a property. And I 100% agree with that. So I was doing like this method within 90 days, I need to buy a property. And I'd look at properties, but I didn't like them. And then it's a Super Bowl, February 20 or something, Kansas City against the Eagles. I don't even remember
It was in Miami. I remember, like
the Super Bowl.
the Super Bowl was in Miami.
Shakira was like the whatever,
Yes.
the halftime show. And I was hosting and I had like 30 people that were gonna come over. We had pizza, we had everything. And I'm submitting my first ever offer for a client. And I call Diego. It's like 5 p.m. It's like, bro, Super Bowl's in an hour. Can you come help me? And you were driving home and you're like, dang it. All right, you turn, you come to my house. It's like 6 p.m. Super Bowl's about to start. Everyone's coming into the house. And I tell my friend, hey, here are the keys, bro. Take care of everything. Diego and I need to work on an offer. So we end up working 3 hours on the offer. This was my first ever offer, and I was super nervous. 3 hours on the offer, and we submitted. Thankfully, we got accepted. But long story short, Diego was like, hey, dude, there's this property, DR Horton, the builder. They have a 4 beds, 3.5 baths home. It just went back on the market, and they haven't put it on the market. Well, no, it hadn't gone back on the market. It was off market.
Hmm.
And the builder,
Hmm.
Jim, he's a good friend now. Jim called Diego, was like, dude, I know you do a lot of big bedrooms. Who do you have? And Diego was like, buy this one. You need to buy it. And I was like, okay. The next day, right as they open, I go to the house and I'm like, what do I need to get it? I like saw it, and within 3 minutes, I'm like, what do I need? You need a cashier's check. And I'm like, who the hell carries cashier's check? So I needed to drive to Wells Fargo and be like, how do I do this? And I submitted the earnest money deposit, got it under contract. And now I lived for free in that house, and I make money off that house now, like 300, 400 bucks a month. But I also have a line of credit of like 120,000 on it. So it's been
Mhm.
an incredible investment.
Yes. So now, tell us, how did you live for free in that house? What was the strategy? And how much money did you put down and all of that?
Yeah, so I put 10% down, but I could have put anywhere from 3 to 5% down. I put 10% because I had sold a condo at 21 for like $1 million, and I just saved that money. And um yeah, lived in one room, rented out the others to three friends. Fair market value. Like all the rooms were rented for under 850, 800 back in 2020. And it was great. We loved it. It was a lot of friends, so there was a lot of testosterone. We had just graduated college, so that house was crazy most of the time. You've got to visit it, Diego.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, lived in one room, rented out the others.
Yeah. And so you bought that property in 2020, right as COVID was starting, right? I remember that part. Putting 10% down, you were living for free. And then fast forward a couple of years later, when you got your line of credit, can you explain a little bit about the line of credit and how much did that property appreciate?
Yes, so I got the home for 286 on the loan. Back then I owed like 240. Now I owe like 220, but 240. So the house was worth like 450. 2 years ago when I got the home equity line of credit, and they give you money based on the equity that you have. So the market value of the home, because you need an appraisal, and the loan amount that you owe, that was about 160, and they give me 80% of that to use whenever I want as a line of credit. It's like kind of like a credit card. You only get charged if
Mhm.
you use it. So I have that line of credit 120,000 that I can use to lend money to flippers and charge them origination points, which are fees at the beginning, and then an interest rate based on market, whatever hard money lenders are doing or private lenders. So it's been great. I mean, that house
Mhm.
appreciated so much, and it gives me money now, and I can lend money. Sky's the
Yeah.
limit.
And would you, so then, um, with that line of credit, now you're able to put that money to work, but you were able to buy that property with, I think it was like less than $30,000. Uh, and then from there, you were able to now get a line of credit, and I believe it was around 100.
Yeah, 120.
120,000 line of credit, which now he can use that at any point. He can lend that money out, as he said. He can buy different, like put that money to work, buy properties, buy whatever he wanted. So that is the power of the line of credit. It's funny, Andres, that you bought that property, you got a line of credit. I was able to get a line of credit for my first house hack. I bought my first house hack in 2014, putting 5% down, and I was able to use the line of credit to put the money for the down payment for my condo in Puerto Rico. So, like that investment that I did in 2014 got me the dream condo in Puerto Rico. Now, we'll talk about your condo here in a bit, but what was that transition now? Because I know you own two other properties here in Austin, I believe, plus the condo in Puerto Rico. So how was that transition with your two other properties?
Yes, so with the owner occupant loan, you have to be living in the property for a year, but there was a way to somewhat get around that. With the appreciating market that was crazy, I wanted to lock a price. So within 3 months of closing on my first home, April of 2020, I I locked a piece of land and built the home, and that took about 9 months. So it was a full year, and that allowed me to buy that other property for 5% down minimum and get the owner occupant rates, which I have a
Mhm.
3.5% rate. I'm living in it right now. I used to house hack it, live for free. Now it's only me and the master, a friend that pays me rent, a guest room, and an office. And I love it because the first
Mhm.
floor is my room, and obviously the kitchen and stuff and living room. And then upstairs is the office, guest room, and friends. And you've stayed in the guest room, Diego.
Of course,
I
of
love it.
course.
Love it.
And then you own another new
Yes.
build as well.
Then the other one, 20% down, that definitely has appreciated as well. It's making me about $500 per month, which is great. It's been amazing. Yeah, super,
Mm-hmm.
super blessed. The new builds has definitely been the route that has made it super easy here in Austin to invest.
Yes, yes. And so then I know that you also, now let's talk about your property in Puerto Rico. How did that come up? And how was that experience, all of that?
It's awesome. That gets me excited to talk about it. So you bought your property, which was such a cool story. Oh my gosh, it gives me chills when you told me you're talking to Vero and you're like, okay, I would only buy a condo if it had this and that. And then it's like, and actually, if it
Yes,
had this, and then you're like, and this, and then Vero was like, I have that. And
I
you
have
went,
that house.
you got it. And I saw the property and it got me super excited to see you happy. So I was like, oh, damn, this would be cool because I have money in the bank and I haven't used it. So I put it on my one sheet. It's crazy. I have it on my one sheet. Buy an investment property, ideally in Puerto Rico, 2 beds, 1 bath, beach. It's crazy, bro. We talked about this. Like, oh,
Yes, yes,
insane. We legit talked about everything. And I told Paul Herrera, one of our really good friends, like, hey, Paul, I know you look at a lot of off market on whatever. Let us know when something pops up. This is the criteria. I was in London
yes,
and you and Paul sent me a message. You need to get this property. And dude, you guys are like brothers to me. So I was like, let's do what do we need to do? Bro, I didn't even see it in person
yeah, I
until
know.
like 5 months later. So I got it under contract and beachfront needed a lot of renovation, I'd say. But oh my gosh, this property, like everyone that I've met that lives in that building has told me like you have the best property because it's the penthouse
Penthouse.
corner beach. The only thing you see is beach. Like picture like a 270 view of beach. 270.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's insane. So we renovated it and it's been incredible. Airbnb, we barely put it on Airbnb 2 weeks ago. I bought it in June or July. Renos took about 2 months and it was like 30K in renovations. Super worth it. The month of October, we have 5 different sets of people staying. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, it's been awesome. And that property gets
Yes.
me super excited. I'm going with my parents. They're going for the first time in New Year's. That'll be cool.
Yes, this is gonna be awesome. Yes, and I know that my parents are going too, so it's gonna be a blast. And I know that so that condo, shout out to Paul because he was the one that found it. Yes, and him and Javier, our other friend, went to go see it. Then I went to go see it. Yes, shout out to Javi.
All you guys are awesome.
Yes, and turns out that that condo is in Isla Verde, and it is literally a 30-second walk from my condo. So it's crazy how it was right there, and you were able to buy that property putting 20% down, right?
25.
25% down. I know that it took a little while to because over there in Puerto Rico things sometimes go a little bit slow and they take a little longer. Yes.
We went
Yes.
backstory. We went to close and we didn't close, so we had to go back. But it's like, of course, we'll go back.
We'll
We're
go
kind
back.
of happy that
Yes.
happened.
Yes. And I wanted to be there for the closing. So I was like, why not? Let's go back to Puerto Rico. I love Puerto Rico. So that was an experience. And it's really cool that you were able to now have your 3 properties here in Austin by yourself, right? But now you also partner up with somebody. And one of the key things with partnering is that you want to make sure that both partners or however many partners that they're complementing each other, right? Because Andres, for example, he lives here in Austin, but he had the money and then he partnered up with Paul, who knows about the market. He found the deal. He already does the Airbnb management because he owns other properties in Puerto Rico. So it just fit perfectly with them basically complementing each other. Now, really quick here, it's what I call unfair advantages. The unfair advantage that you want to have as you partner up with people is, and make sure that you complement, is time, money, your network, and experience or knowledge in the market. So that's how they complemented each other, and now they're able to buy this property. I know it's going to be a big success. So I am really excited for you guys.
And Paul and Yanira have been amazing. The systems that they have, they already know, they've gone through it. So for me, honestly, I didn't want to learn those things, and it's valuable to have someone and pay them whatever they need to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, what's fair, that's considered. I mean, what is your time worth? So
Mm-hmm.
it's been so worth it, and they've been amazing, and they're great friends. So I'm really grateful for Yanira and Paul.
Yes, for sure, for sure. So now, as we just wrapped up a little bit of your properties, and it's really cool to see that uh, that as you grown throughout the years too, you've been able to help a lot of families as a realtor, and now one of the really cool things about you now is that you chose. We'll talk a little bit about how, like, your social media part and how you've been able to have accountability for yourself to be able to choose social media as your main method to find people that want to buy or sell properties, and how that has become your unfair advantage to where now you have 3 or 4 leads coming in every single week. So can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So at the beginning of the year, I told you my goal was to get leads. The main source be social media. And I committed to since January 17th. I even have it on my notes that I look at to post one time per day. If not, I would pay you $10,000. So that has been like trial and error the first 2, 3 months. Didn't really know what I was doing, I guess, as much this year. But
Mm-hmm.
with Julio also as an accountability partner, we started setting systems. Every Wednesday we go film, we choose a new build community, we film home tours, we do talking heads, a lot of things that then now have made the systems way easier because it was trial and error. We had to learn through
Mm-hmm.
contact as opposed to just not really doing much. So it's been great. This past 2 months, I've definitely have seen way more pickup, but it take like 4 or 5 months and getting feedback from people and just people like you as well to then narrow it down and then just start growing. And I've the past 8 closings have been, I believe, 7 people that have found me through social media. The other was a referral. So most of my closings now are through social.
Okay. Okay. No, that's good. And tell us a little bit about. We'll talk about the videos for the closings, but I really feel for anybody that's a realtor, or that wants to become a realtor. Andres does something that's really good. He does the home tours, and some of them have gone viral. I mean, you have some reels that have gotten like hundreds of thousands of views, right?
Yeah, I have like the ones that are pinned. One is like 4.2 million, the other one is 1.1 million. Then yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely some that have gone viral.
Yeah, yeah. Now, one thing that you mentioned is, so if anybody, your Instagram is Andres Busta ATX,
Andres Busta TX.
Andres Busta TX. So for anybody that goes to his Instagram, they'll see different home tours, and they're very eye catching because you're either jumping up and down or you're just yeah, like it's funny, but uh, you. So you do your home tours, but you make them captivating so that you catch the audience, right? You catch the attention of the audience, but you also wear a jersey of different soccer teams. So talk a little bit about that because I feel like that is what makes you relatable. And this goes for anybody that's doing content on social media. But on the realtor side, talk a little bit about some of the conversations that have come up just by you choosing to do your reels while your real estate reels while wearing the jerseys.
Mm-hmm. Big thing was that I wanted to have clients that I related to and that I actually had a good time showing homes and that can become friends because I've had some clients that have been amazing. I've also had some clients that I'm like, I don't really want to work with them. And the reality is, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to work with everyone. It's kind of your standards that you set. At the beginning, you probably do have to work with people you might not want to work with. But then at the end of the day, once you start building the systems and everything, it's like, who do you attract? What do you put out there? If you're fake, the content that you put out there, you'll attract people that you don't want to attract. If you're the real you, you'll attract the people you want to work with. I love soccer. I can talk football all day, like literally. And having the jerseys, I've always collected jerseys. I'm like, people see this, it'll probably be people that like sports or
Mm-hmm.
football or whatever team. And I love that. I've gotten calls from people randomly that are like, "Hey, Andres, who's winning the Premier League? Who's winning the Champions League?" We talk for 3 to 5 minutes, and I love talking about that. And then they're like, "Oh, by the way, we want to sell or buy a home." And right away, the trust is built because it's a mutual interest. So the
Mhm.
reasoning behind that, and it's funny because we talked about that at the beginning of the year. Remember, that's crazy.
Yes.
Like we spoken
Yes.
about all of this. It was to attract those type of people, and it's been
Hmm.
working, thankfully. At first, it took a while, like I said, but after several months, it's all come to play.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I also want to talk about you set a goal in 2020 that you told Victor and I that you wanted to work, that you wanted to be the agent of choice for the new soccer team in Austin. You set that goal. Tell me about that journey and how many how many players have you helped from Austin FC, and what has been your your journey to be able to build that trust to where now all these soccer players are calling you.
Yeah, it's been crazy, but I helped the one coach, and then I wasn't really getting anything else apart from that. And dude, oh my God, it was like 3 years of a ton of no's from the Austin FC staff. They're like, no, we already have an agent. No, no, this and that. And I've tried so many things, like no joke, so many things until one time, thankfully, through insisting, because that's at the end of the day what you got to do until they're like blatantly like, no, yeah. And they never really told me that. I got dinner with one of the main guys, and then he was like, okay, I was like you when I barely started, and I'm gonna give you an opportunity. So the next day, they let me help one of the players do a lease. I was like, dude, I'll help with anything. I did the lease, I crushed it, and then that player started telling his teammates. Then the teammates started reaching out, and then everyone kind of started talking about me, and then from there, it like rolled, snowballed into helping the main players. Oh, it's been incredible. I've helped like 14, 15 players from the Austin FC, and like 8 coaches, 10 coaches around there. It's been amazing.
That's awesome, dude. That's crazy because I know you told me in 2020, you told me you put it on your vision board too. And yeah, you put on your vision board, and I remember talking weekly or every 2 weeks. It's like, Diego, what should I do now? This is the text that they send me, and like, what do I need to do to get them to say yes? And just planning different things. And you never gave up to where now you're showing them homes. I see you like at the soccer games and like having one of the best seats, and you know all of them. So it's really cool to see that journey. And now, um, one of the key things too is as Andres shares this, a bit of his story on, especially on the part of being a realtor, there's a lot of commitment that one has to go through trial and error and decisions of like, hey, you just have to be persistent. I remember in the beginning where Andres and I wanted to start doing the like doing some TikToks back in the day. It took us 3 hours to do our first TikTok. And I was doing one, he was doing one, and we just took us forever.
Bro, I was so stressed that day. I remember we were
Yes.
in
Yes.
Our Greenwood, the house hacking one. Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Exactly. Exactly. It took us forever, and we didn't know we were trying this, we're trying that. We didn't think that it would be good at editing. We couldn't speak well on the on camera. But at the end of the day, fast forward years later, now it's something that we're super comfortable. So that's the one thing that people need to stay persistent with their decisions, with their goals, and just take action on that. Now, Andres, I know that one of the things that you do, of course, is your miracle morning. That is super, super important. Can you share a little bit about how your morning routine has helped you, and why that sets you up for success?
Firstly, what I want to say is that a lot of people think that the morning routine is like waking up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Doesn't have to be like that. You can wake up maybe 30 minutes before your usual time and have a great morning routine. The big thing here though is that it just primes me to kind of be the best version of myself because through getting exercise, through movement, then meditating, and then affirmations, visualizing, writing down what I'm thinking of the day, that just really helps me before the 8 a.m. stress. Because if you wake up and go directly to work, that's probably the worst thing you can do because you're just not in the zone. If you can actually go to the gym, move, spend time with yourself, it's such a game changer. And not only that, but those small habits of the discipline and keeping your word through those things will definitely help you to just roll into the rest of the day. You know,
Hmm.
it just
Yeah.
sets the precedent to success with those small daily habits of stacking up on top of each other. It's
Yes.
crucial to my success, to my how I'm feeling, my energy. Without it, bro, I would be dying.
Hmm. Yeah, and I know that you do. It all started when you read the book The Miracle Morning, right, by Hal Elrod.
Yes, definitely that helped like clarify the morning routine because I was looking for something and I would try different things and then until that I was like this is a game changer.
Hmm. Yeah. Now, I want to share on two more things, but I remember that back in the day, when we were first getting started in talking to help people how to do house hacking, how to buy property, especially we would give classes to students at UT, and our presentation was not that good back in the day compared to the presentations that you and I are doing now. Can you share a little bit about the power of storytelling? And again, in the beginning, with anything, everyone sucks. Like it's okay. And you need to, the more that you do it, the better you get. And to the point that now Andres is traveling to different offices, market centers, and everything, different companies, different brokerages to talk about the power of social media, using it as a realtor to get more families that want to buy homes and sell homes. And the one thing here, Andres, I want you to talk a little bit about the power of storytelling and how that has helped you in becoming also a better speaker.
Oh, it's helped me massively. It's more so the art of conveying a message, you know, because through storytelling, people can relate to other people that they're similar to. And as opposed to me just telling you facts, it's very different from a fact to actually a story that you can relate to. That's when it'll really grab at you emotionally and will
Hmm.
potentially have you make a decision, you know? So storytelling has been massive, not only for my confidence, for public speaking, for being able to just let people know what I want to tell them, you know? It's been so important. Toastmasters has been great. I hated it. I didn't like it. I used to not like public speaking whatsoever and get super nervous. Now I actually love it and I'm like excited to do it.
Yeah, yeah, and the power of storytelling. For example, I know that you and I have talked about how, for example, realtors or investors might say, "Hey, I bought this property," or as a realtor, sold, right? But they don't. They're missing out on a lot of potential connection with their followers, with the people that follow them on social media, because they can literally, by sharing the story about how the closing went or the experience of the buyers or the sellers, they can get people to say, "Oh my gosh, I'm in that same situation. If Andres can help them, I know that he can help me." So, talk a little bit about how the craft of the story in each post is so important.
Yeah, every post that I put as a like purposefully done and it's really more so when you tell the story about a lot of agents like you said make the mistake of posting it just closed, just listed. Okay, great. Honestly, nobody cares. It's more so what solutions were there, what problems initially were there, what problems did those clients have, how was it solved, and how are they now? When you
Mm,
go through that framework of what problems, oh, they didn't know that they could put as low as 3 to 5% down, and they needed to move to their home by Christmas, and someone told them that a closing would take 3 months when it can actually take a month, 45 days, maybe even 21 days with the right lender. And also, they were told they couldn't get a loan because they have ITIN. The
mm,
solution? there's actually loan programs that allow you to do it for as low as this. And actually, through this loan officer, we can close within 21 to 30 days. Are you facing a similar situation? If so, I know how to solve those problems. When you give a story like that and you put names like Andres and Maria or Andres and Zoe were looking to buy this, they couldn't until we did this, this and that. When you put that out there and you share the wins, that's when it's like, oh, I'm in a similar situation to these people. I didn't think it was possible, but it is because of this person that helped us. Let's go with them to help us buy or sell real estate. It's the
Mm-hmm.
relatability that will grab at people and the solution to those problems. If it's you, you'll be the solution to many other people's problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now I know that that as you're doing a lot of those stories, a lot of on those posts and being able to relate, you're also having like different families every single month coming to you, reaching out, asking if you can help them. But not only that, but you've also had some agents reach out, and you've done a couple of coaching, a couple of calls on basically on crafting and sharing how you've been using social media to get more clients, to get more families. And that's been really cool because you share, I've seen that presentation and it's actually very, very well done. Like you're not only sharing about captivating the audience of your social media, but even your presentation. And I know you've worked with a coach and everything, and it just shows the person that you are, that you want to, everything that you do, you want to make it the best as possible. Right?
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, which is awesome. Now, as we transition, we've done a transition too. We recently have gone from being in Keller Williams, where I've been an agent for, so I've been an agent for 10 years and 5 months now. And Andres, when you joined the team to work with us, it was 2020, so you've been part of Keller Williams officially since 2020, so four and a half years or something.
Yeah.
And now we've done a transition to Realty of America, and being part of the team that's basically leading the charge of Realty of America here in Texas, being able to attract different agents into this opportunity that we have. I am super excited to be working on that. And I know that so it went Eddie telling Victor, then Eddie flew me out to Chicago to speak. Eddie is the CEO of Realty of America. He used to be the CEO of Realty of Chicago, and they just transitioned. And then Eddie told me, I was like, I'm in, whatever we have to do, let's do it. Then after that, I remember talking with Victor and telling him, hey, we need to let Andres, Julio, and a few of the people know. So then throughout this whole transition, it's been crazy because now we have an incredible opportunity, as I mentioned, and we were able to see the launch over there in San Diego. Can you share a little bit about that launch?
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I mean, the synergy, the energy, everyone was so excited and you could feel it. Like if you could touch that energy, and just top-minded individuals, people that push you to elevate your norm, because the reality is your norm is based on the people you surround yourself with. And here,
Mm-hmm.
it's high achievers that want to see you succeed, want to see everyone succeed, and just an exciting new journey, because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like KW was great. Everything, we're so appreciative. It was just like we're the number one for the past 4 years. We wanted something new and a new challenge,
Mm-hmm.
to maybe get
Yeah.
out of our comfort zones. I don't know, but it's exciting.
Exactly. And we were able to launch with 2,400 agents in 8 different states. And I believe that in Texas, we have a little bit over 300 agents now. In Austin, we have around 60 or 80. So it's really cool to be able to see the growth. We literally in Austin, we all of this has happened in the last 2 weeks actually. So it's really cool as we transition. So if anybody has questions about either becoming a realtor or joining a new brokerage, definitely reach out to Andres, reach out to me if you guys have any questions or want to learn more about Realty of America, because we are here to help on that journey. Andres has incredible knowledge on the social media side. Like he said, right? You've helped how many families already?
This year, or all in all, like 140, 143 around there.
Yeah, like over 140 families helped. So a lot of the knowledge will come from him, and of course I've been involved. I would say over 400 transactions on my end since working with Victor in those 10 years as well. So we are bringing in a lot of knowledge. So if you guys have questions on investing with FI Investors, of course, or questions about Realty of America, definitely reach out to us. So Andres, where can people find you? Where can people find more information about you? Reach out if they have questions, all that stuff.
Yes, on Instagram. My ad is Andres BustaTX, AndresBustaTX.
Yes, Andres BustaTX. And you're in Austin, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So guys, remember how in the beginning, he shared how he heard me on a podcast, on the Bigger Pockets podcast. He heard me that I said, I'm in Austin. He reached out. And now, fast forward years later, now we're business partners doing a podcast right now on FI Investors and sharing that journey. So don't be afraid to reach out to anybody that you listen to on social media, on a podcast. Reach out to Andres, because you never know where those relationships can start and basically take a life of its own. Because I know that seeing Andres since when he was 23 years old till now, he's also been able to go through an amazing transition in his real estate career as an investor. And now not only I was there to help him, guide him through his first house hack, but then also his condo in Puerto Rico and all of that stuff. So it's crazy to see your growth. And I know that I feel like with Realty of America and stuff, we're just getting started too. So there's so much more to come.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. So Andres, thank you for your time. I know people are going to reach out to ask you some questions on investing, on realtor, how they can grow their real estate business. So really excited to see their journey too as they reach out, and look forward to seeing more of your content on social media going viral.
Oh yeah, bro. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the FI Investors Podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And share this with a fellow real estate investor who you think would find value in what we do. Until next time.